Hey folks, it's Dr. Brenda, founder of the Gutsy Women Club and the Dream Plan Save Do program, full-time RVer traveling the country with my 3 cats. I am here at Henry's Lake State Park in Idaho. I'm about 15 miles away from Yellowstone National Park. Perfect setting to give you some tips on visiting Yellowstone National Park. 10 tips. And by the way, yes, it is August. It is the latter part of August. And I am wearing fleece, temps only in the 50s, so, go figure. That's part of the equation here, folks. So 10 tips. Same tip I gave you for Glacier National Park and that I'd probably give you for every national park is either go early or go late. It seems to be around 10 o'clock is where things really start to pick up into early afternoon. So if you can get there, the earlier you can get there, the better chance you are to have a little bit more solitude, a little bit less parking, freedom to enjoy the park. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, my entrance is the west entrance at West Yellowstone. And there are several entrance points, but all of the entries have a webcam on them. You can actually go online and look to see what the traffic looks like, and it might help you figure out the time of day when it's going to be best for you to head into the park. So take a look at those webcams. Number 3, and a friend clued me into this, but you can, while you have Wi-Fi, you're not going to get any cell service in the park at all. So there's no cell service. So when you are outside of the park and you've got access to a Wi-Fi, go ahead and splurge on a Yellowstone audio tour. I found one. I downloaded it for about $10. I could select which entrance I was going into. I did the west entrance, and then it guided me. Now it doesn't know when the roads are closed, and it will guide you in a certain direction. But I learned a lot, and I really enjoyed my my auto tour a whole lot better. I knew where to stop. It gave me a heads up as to what was coming up and what I might see, and it helped me make a decision. Really great if you're on your own or you just, it's $10. It's a pretty good deal. Or there are lots of different offerings, so I can't really recommend one over the other. I haven't tried them all, but hey, that audio tour, give it a try. All right, number 4, I kind of mentioned this, so when you enter the park, make sure you get their little magazine, their little visitor guide, Yellowstone visitor guide, and on the back of this is a map. So you can see when at this point, August 2021, this road is closed, and this is a pretty major road. It goes from Tower Roosevelt into Canyon Village. And with that road being closed, it means you've got a really long trek to, maneuver around that. You may have to actually leave the park to do the whole loop. It's called, the Grand Loop. So be aware of the road closures and plan accordingly. All right, so that is number 4. Number 5. Okay, what do people think of Yellowstone? They think of Old Faithful, the Old Faithful geyser that goes off about every 90 minutes. They'll give you a schedule. You can usually go online, but you can also go to the Old Faithful Visitor Center. The projected time of the eruption is listed, plus or minus 10 minutes. I did not have a problem parking. And I went, the geyser erupted around 9:30, I think, in the morning. So that was a pretty good time. I could see crowds starting to come in. Also, the day that I saw it, it was rainy and gloomy. And if it's a nice day and if it's on a weekend, you might have to get in there a little bit earlier. So, yep, that's the trick to seeing Old Faithful. Again, probably later in the day might be good too, but it can get crowded. They note that there's a lot of congestion, lots of tourists. All right. Now, number 6, if you're hiking at all, you go on the trails, get yourself some bear spray. There are grizzlies and black bears, and the black bears tend to hide a little bit more. The grizzlies may not be bothered by you, but you may be bothered by them. So just get yourself some bear spray. You can can actually find it at the national park. You can find it in their stores. All right, you find it all around here, so not difficult to find. Get bear spray. Okay, now I did a lot of driving on that first day, and partly because that loop was closed, I ended up driving all the way. I'm at the west entrance here, the Madison entrance, and I drove to Mammoth Hot Springs. Okay, I ended up driving all the way to the northeast entrance to Cook City, Montana. I was in that park for 8-9 hours. It's a huge park. And at first, I was like, you know what? I don't see the wildlife that everybody talks about. I've not seen any elk. I've not seen any bison. This is a dud. And then partly because this road was closed, I kept on going. And when I got to, it's called Sloth Creek and Yellowstone Forever Institute, Pebble Creek, this whole area towards the northeast entrance, it's like, this is, according to my audio tour, like the Serengeti of North America. Now, I've been on a safari in South Africa, and I kind of have to agree, it's like the Serengeti of North America. So while I had been thinking, I'm not seeing a whole lot, you get into that area, wide open spaces, you can see for miles and miles, and you will see hundreds of bison. Some closer to the road, but you'll see herds of bison. I didn't get to stop and see, there were also some pronghorn, which were, I don't know, they look like antelope to me. I'd never seen any before. I didn't get a picture of it. I did not see bears, but head over to that area. I'll show you again on the map. It is towards the northeast entrance, at Cook City, Montana, all the way up into this area. So, yeah, check it out. You don't want to miss that. Now, if you're coming in from, the south entrance, that's a bit of a trek. It's a real long trek. So, it was really cool. Really cool. Okay, so that was tip number 7. Number 8, give yourself a lot of days. I mean, it's really tough. If you've got one day to see it, I was there for 2 days, and I didn't even see half of the park. The other thing is the weather. So you can see that it's been raining here for 3 days, cold, like 41 degree Fahrenheit cold, winter pajama cold. And rainy, and the wildfires have really limited the visibility on some of these days. So, man, if you've got to see it all in one day, you might want to go with a tour company that can show you some of the highlights. But you could easily spend an entire week here. But give yourself several days, so that if you only get to do stuff on 1 or 2 days, because of the weather, because of visibility, you can still see the park. All right, so yeah, it's a huge park. It is enormous. Number 9. You ready for tip number 9? I'll bet you might guess what it is, but be ready for those temperature changes. I mean, when I came in early in the week, I had the AC cranking, and within a couple of days, I had the heater going. So huge fluctuations, sometimes 50 degrees in one day, from 45 degrees to 95 degrees. So this is not what I was anticipating for August weather, and it's a bit unpredictable. So you might end up buying extra layers if you think August is going to be hot. It can be, yes, absolutely. But look at this. So, yep, be prepared for those big temperature changes. Last tip. I'm going to rant a little bit, folks. I'm going to rant. Don't be one of those people. Who are one of those people? Those horrible visitors. Okay, don't be one of those. Who are those people? I'll tell you what, the last day in the park, I'm driving, cars are stopped, there's a bison right by the side of the road, on the shoulder of the road, maybe 10 feet from the shoulder of the road, and there's this tourist across the road, standing right by that bison. Now, I've been charged by a bison in the trails in Texas. I have. It's not fun, and you don't approach bison. There are rules in here, folks. There are rules, you know, keep wildlife wild. So I slowly drove past her, gave her a warning. I said, look, you're too close. I've been charged. That bison's you got a good chance of being charged. To which I got, F you. Okay, so she ranted and raved and said, F you, and I'm kind of thinking, go bison, go. You know what? Don't be one of those people. Don't think you have magic powers to tame the elk and the deer. Have a beer first, yeah. The deer and the bison. You don't have those magic powers. Don't be one of those people who are driving 30 miles per hour, gawking at everything, while you got a line of cars behind you and the speed limit is 45. Pull over. Don't be one of those people who is in a hurry that they're passing everybody else on the solid yellow lines with traffic coming. Don't be one of those people. You're going into the national park. I told you I was going to rant, folks. You're going into the national park. Respect the wildlife. Respect the rules. You know in advance the National Park Service, as of today, as of this month, as of this year, requires masks for you to go into one of their buildings. Wear the damn mask. If you cannot follow those rules, stay out of the park and let the rest of us enjoy it. Okay, I am done ranting. All right, and I know my audience is not one of those people. By the way, please subscribe. I'll try not to rant too much. 10 tips again, go early or go late is number 1. Number 2, look at those entrance webcams at every entrance to Yellowstone. 3, go ahead and download an audio tour. Make sure you do it when you're out of the park, because when you're in the park, you're not going to get any service at all. 4, take a look at those road closures, plan accordingly. 5, if you want to see Old Faithful, my suggestion is to see it as early as you can in the day. Number 6, you go out hiking, you go on the trails, get yourself some bear spray, take it with you. Number 7, if you can, head towards that northeast entrance to see herds and herds of bison, the Serengeti of North America. Number 8, give yourself several days. The visibility, the weather might not cooperate. It's a huge park. Give yourself some time. Number 9, yeah, be ready for temperature changes. See what the temperature is doing to me? Can be really hot, can be really cold. Be ready. Number 10, don't be one of those people. Don't be one of those people who tries to pet the bison. Don't be one of those people, you got a line of cars behind you because you're going so slow. Don't be one of those people who cannot follow national park rules. Don't be one of those impatient drivers who needs to get around everybody else at the risk of everyone else's safety. Don't be one of those people. All right, 10 tips. Enjoy Yellowstone if you go there. I got to tell you what, I'm going to have to come back because I didn't see half of the park, and when I did, the visibility was so poor I couldn't stop and hike and walk and take the photos I wanted to. So yeah, I got to come back. All right, guys, have fun, and that's it. Enjoy Yellowstone. Let me know in the comments what you found and how you enjoyed it, and take care. Till next time. Bye-bye.